Welcome back to episode 94 of the Briefcase The Barn. In today's episode, we talk about these following topics: being open, cattle prices, real estate brokerages. We talk about God and suffering. And we move on to men singing in church and why they struggle to do that. The title, Reverend. And then we end with some recruiting and some chat about doing a live event. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. So you started last week's podcast too?
What? Taking your shirt on or taking it off?
Taking your sweater off. Porn kills love. Welcome back, guys. Another episode. Where'd you get that shirt?
Bought it off the internet.
When?
A couple months ago. It cost me a lot of money.
How much?
I don't know, but the shipping alone was just insane. I got some weird bill afterwards from FedEx for shipping.
Tariffs.
It wasn't even a tariff. It was just... Didn't read the fine print when I ordered it, I guess.
So Gary has a big skull on his shirt with a big knife through the skull. It's for all you audio listeners. And then it says, porn kills love.
Yeah. It's from the website. Oh, is it Fight the New Drug or?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a movement for sure. People don't talk about it enough, right?
No. And apparently we talk about it too much on here.
Is that what people say?
That's what you told me people say, and your wife says that.
No, that was about marriage. We talked too much about marriage.
Oh.
No, she didn't say we talked too much about pornography.
Oh, okay.
No. It was interesting because we had our first Freedom Session grad last week, which you were at.
Yeah.
And I got a bit of feedback. Most people really liked it, but it was interesting how people right away, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, my brother was there and he just could not believe how honest you were about your struggle that you had with pornography. And
it's funny that people say that because, I've heard that talk that you do up front many times.
Varying degrees because it's never the same because I never tell the truth, right?
Well, I don't know what you're holding back, but I think it's pretty on point. But I don't even feel like it's that open anymore just because, I don't know, for the work I do or how open I am myself, but I'm just like, man, it doesn't really throw me off. But I guess for a lot of people, it can still be like, oh my goodness, that's really open. Because all you shared was...
I was very vague. I did not go into any detail.
No.
I literally just said that my wife said that I had to go to Freedom Session because we had big problems.
Because you were looking at porn.
Yeah. So I would assume that's the bulk of men in marriages would be my assumption.
Yeah.
Or they're just nobody knows. More likely that
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. That'd be the more likely.
Yeah. The amount of people I run into that have personally shared things with me that have told me this, I've never told anybody this.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Me too.
And I'm like, that's just definitely my own story as well. Like for a long time, no one knew everything about me. The majority of my life, probably at least until I was 30. So I guess it's pretty common.
Yeah, it's pretty common. And the other thing about deceitfulness, and this is interesting because I see this in my own life in varying ways with other people I'm close to, but the longer you keep something a secret, the harder it is to tell the truth. And we all know that because we've had that. Everybody's had that in their life, or most people.
Well, especially because the thing keeps growing.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. It grows in your mind. It doesn't grow in reality. It just grows in your mind. So like the minute that you haven't dealt with something properly and you have to, so it's just it's really important to just get it off your chest as quick as you can. But of course, that's easier said than done. So
yeah. You got anything? Any hot topics?
I saw that you added stuff, but I didn't look into what it was. I've just been immersed in cattle deals and real estate deals and just feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose.
Making deals. Getting those hits of dopamine.
Yeah, not enough though, right?
Not enough.
I need bigger ones.
Need more.
Yeah, more
bigger,
drugs.
more faster.
Drugs. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's never enough, that's for sure.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. Cattle prices just keep climbing. We talk about it on here all the time. It's a big part of my life. It's pretty interesting. In March, I bought 90 pregnant heifers out of Alberta, Holstein heifers, just for a multitude of reasons.
They're all pregnant?
Yeah.
90 pregnant ones?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like there's one from one farm, several farms?
Yeah, I think they were all from one farm. I bought them through another dealer.
Okay. How much do you pay for a pregnant heifer?
I'm not going to say. But...
Okay. How come?
Just don't want to convict myself.
What do you mean convict?
I just don't need to say what I paid for them.
Okay. Why? Because you're just making banging profit, or
because... No, I have no idea if I'll make any money. I haven't sold them yet, but I'm for sure not going to make much money if I start saying what I paid for them. So
That's okay.
you know,
Now there we go.
It all makes
there
sense.
we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Just a reason.
just a reason.
I make a lot of things I don't want to share either.
They were arguably a good deal. They're all pregnant to sex semen Holsteins. So very different than what I would have wanted. Like if I would have had a choice, I would have taken them all pregnant to Angus animals. But anyways, they'll sell.
And
cattle.
So you are going to get them shipped all over here and put them on your
brought
farm?
them all to an intermediary place where they're getting fed because I do not have space for them.
Wow.
And I'm getting them, and I hadn't even seen them. I bought them sight unseen.
Wow.
So I took a bit of a risk, and anyways, it's pretty interesting.
And so they're gonna calve them there too?
Yeah, they're starting to calve now at my farm. I brought the first 10 back to my farm
to start calving.
Yeah,
are they all spread out? Or are they...
Yeah, they are from May to September. And I do not like calving out first calf heifers. Like, I don't know if you know anything about calving out animals, but like if you
I did a little bit when I worked in their farm.
Okay, so you would have dealt with them. So what's the first calf heifer like when she has her first
I didn't
calf?
know. I wasn't that involved enough, but I was there. I was helping out.
Did you have heifers kick you in the head when you were milking?
Yes.
Okay, so those were the first calvers.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yes, yeah, oh yeah, first time in the parlor. Yeah. That was
first time in the parlor. So picture that 90 times over.
Okay.
Anyways,
and you're the one dealing with it?
No, the Filipinos are the guys that run my farm, but I wouldn't want to do that to them. So I'm hoping to sell them ahead of time if it works out. If not, I'll be able to sell them.
Sell the calves.
No, like with the calf in them. Sell them before they even have their.
Oh
calf.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you were.
I'm working on that right now. I just didn't even have a plan really, other than it was my year end, and I needed to buy some cattle. And
that was your reason.
That was the main motivating factor.
And were you looking for a deal, or you just knew of this deal?
I was looking for anything, and this one just literally dropped in my lap.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was in. I bought them while I was in on my family holiday.
And is it hard to find a farm to get someone to feed them? And
no, because there's quite a few guys down here in the valley now, in the Fraser Valley, that own bigger dairies that have feedlots of varying degrees where they raise their young stock, not in the valley, which totally makes sense because it's just. In the valley here, the feed that's grown here is predominantly phenomenal feed. And heifers, like young stock, do not need phenomenal feed. It's not even good for them. Guys here buy a lot of straw and other cheap product to blend with the grass that they grow here.
Okay.
So it totally makes sense to raise them somewhere else. And even just a drier climate, I think, is better for them. And then they're out on packs, so they're out just getting exercise, and they're strong, and they're mixed with, like, my belief is that animals mixed with other animals is healthy. And so
kind of like humans?
Kind of like humans. So you mix with 5 other herds, you have like 1,000 or 1,500 head or 2,000 or however many they have altogether. I think it's healthy. So pretty convenient for me just to find somewhere to take them. And the guy where I brought them, they do a great job. They do a better job than if I was looking after them. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a science, right? Feeding animals is literally a science. Like you can feed them too well too, and they can get really fat and have serious problems when they calve, or you can have them light and then you have serious problems. It's definitely like a balancing act with cattle.
But everything is measured and scientific, and you let the feed guys come out.
And test everything and test the feed.
And you just haven't sold them all yet. That's why you're bringing some back to calve at your farm.
Yeah, I haven't. It hasn't been a top priority of mine. But now the milk, there's no demand for milk right now. And of course I'm in the buying and selling business. Now I can use them myself. It's not like I have to sell them, but.
And because you don't know if they're males or females, right? Or they're all bred?
They are all bred to female Holsteins.
Oh, okay. So you can just raise these yourself to be your
own
own milk cows.
I won't do that. I'm not going to get into that program.
Oh, okay.
No, somebody
that's
will.
right. You don't raise your own cows.
No, but somebody will.
Right.
And that's why somebody will be interested in them, because we know that going forward in BC, there's a huge demand for milk allegedly coming in the next few years. And so I think people will be proactive.
These are not for meat, though. These are all for milk.
These are all for milk. Hopefully they're not for meat. Then I got a bigger problem.
Why?
Well, that would mean that they're pretty crappy quality, right? If they're going for hamburgers.
And do you know, like, the genetic makeup of these? Like, or do you
I don't
follow
have
that
a
at all?
genomic test. I didn't get that carried away.
Okay.
But lots of guys do genomic test their animals now and would know exactly the caliber of the animal. These are not in the upper echelons. It's not like you're buying the best of the best. I
remember working for Bob Matzik, and in grade 12, I did bike to his farm from my place.
Phenomenal cows.
3 a.m. Yes, and I had to tube feed a calf, and I put it down
the wrong hole.
I put it as long and shot it the next day. That was like a $15,000 calf or something.
Shoot. Yeah. Anyways, that's why you don't work there anymore.
Yeah, and I don't have any patience to work on a farm
with animals.
Yeah, I remember when I quit. He's like, "Yeah, you just didn't seem like the type just to like."
It's not a good fit.
Just to be calmly walking around, seeing who's in heat. I'd be done. Full pull. Get out of here.
Okay.
You got to be calm around animals, apparently.
Yeah,
so.
you do. You can tell who are calm around animals. I go to a lot of different farms buying cattle and just selling hay and stuff. And you can walk through some barns with guys and cows don't even move. They're all laying down. Other barns you walk into and you just set foot in the barn. All the cows are like just jumping up, freaking out. It's a total disaster.
Cool. Hey guys, quick interruption here on the podcast, just to talk about my coaching. If you're a dad or a guy who feels like you're crushing it at work, things are going well, but you feel like you're a failure at home as a father, as a husband, or even as a Christian, that's exactly who I coach. That's very much my own story. I can relate to it a lot, and I've helped a lot of different guys to stop white knuckling it and to actually start showing up at home and in the rest of your life with integrity and to stop feeling like a failure in those areas. And so if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description below that you can check out, and we'll have a call. And I can see how I can help you. No pitch, just an honest chat. Check that out. And otherwise, let's get back into the podcast.
Another thing that I thought was interesting that happened in the last day or two, and I haven't done any research on it, really what it means, but there's a real estate brokerage called Real Brokerage, which is like an online virtual brokerage where there's like no offices or anything really, or very few. I don't know too much about it.
Lower commission then that way? Or?
No, not lower commission, but they just bought Remax.
Oh, wow.
For, I don't want to, there again, I've done zero due diligence, somewhere between 600 and $1 billion, I think 700-800 million or so.
Oh, wow. Is Remax just Canada?
No, Remax is all over.
Oh.
And the reason they bought it, I mean, there's probably lots of different reasons, but I think it basically shows that there's like a seismic shift happening in real estate. So like EXP would be another great example of a brokerage. That's a virtual. Randy Dick. Yep. Yeah. Was he on your podcast?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And he even predicted stuff like this. He's been saying this for a long time that people will move to that model, and a lot of agents from our office and other offices have been moving to EXP. So those brokerages charge lower fees to realtors. So a lot of people wouldn't realize that if you're at a brokerage, your average realtor is paying between who knows what amount, but let's just say $500 to $1,500 a month, literally just to be a realtor at their office. Like even if they sell nothing, that's what they're paying every month. And then every other year you're paying your relicensing fees, which are thousands of dollars. And then you're paying for classes, which are hundreds of dollars. And so there's just a lot of costs. That's not including marketing or any other the stuff that you would need to kind of run your business. So it's definitely a model now because commissions have went up so much because the value.
Okay, so maybe just explain the two models because I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, so there's the model where you would have like the one I'm in where, you're part of an office. There's a brick and mortar building. You would have office meetings once a week. Century 21 in Chilliwack. There's 5 or 6, 7 brokerages in Chilliwack that are pretty well known. They would all kind of have a similar model that some would do things way better than others, but with the idea of, hey, we'd all be in an office together. Periodically, you could go to the office. You could have a physical office at the place. You'd have some community there. So that's your legacy type brokerage. Like Remax has been built that way. And in Remax, I don't think you're allowed to be a Remax realtor if you have another full-time job or part-time job.
Okay.
Like you literally have to be a full-time. Now, you could have other businesses. There'd be a lot of loopholes and workarounds, but you definitely couldn't have a job at Best Buy in the day and then do realtor by night at Remax. So they've tried to make themselves quote unquote, more professional, proper, which I can see the benefit of that. And you want to get...
So new model is...
The new model is everything's virtual. It's literally just on the internet. It's a cloud-based. There again, there's people that listen to this that are at Real Brokerage maybe, and they could really explain it really clearly.
And any benefit to the buyer or the seller?
Like the people that you're doing business for? It's definitely the bulk of the benefits, I think, would be mostly for the realtors. Yeah. But I mean, you would argue as a realtor that if you're being looked after well, you look after your clients well, and anything that benefits. I mean, you talked about lower commissions. If you're paying less, you can charge less too. So I think that ultimately in the market we're in now we're getting into a spot where people are actually, ironically, you would think that in the market we're in, people would care more about how much commission they're paying because their house might sell for less. But now I think people will care more about if they hire a realtor that's actually a good realtor and does a good job and knows how to price the place sharply rather than just gives them a deal.
Go back to what it really should be in the first place.
Yeah. And because we got into a spot where a house might sell for in our Chilliwack here, easily between $750,000 and $1 million, the checks were so large that you didn't have to do a lot of deals. And that was a problem. But now the real estate market's got so bad that like in the office I'm in, I think there's 100 agents and well over half have not done any deal. in the last year.
But that, like, I remember talking to realtors a lot over the years, and it seemed like there was always the majority of the realtors that barely sold anything.
Well, it'd be no different than anything, 20% do 80% of the volume, but there'd be a smattering of people, especially in 21 and 22, everybody would have done a bunch of deals, right? Because it was just so insane. But the volume's down now, and now people really congregate to realtors that get stuff sold. And I think people are quitting too, which is helpful, right?
What's it like for you being realtors? You being a realtor and knowing a lot of people, do you have in the back of your head, like, oh, I could sell this guy's place one day? Like that internal dialogue?
No, I think I sometimes wonder if I'd be a better realtor if I was that way or a worse one. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a benefit. I mean, I think that I have always felt, and it's to my detriment. So I actually had people the other day that asked me to work with them. And the reason they asked me to work with them is because I had done a giveaway at the Ag Show last year at my booth and given away a nice Yeti cooler, and they were the winners. And that's why they called me. Okay. Wonderful people. Anyways, it was pretty interesting, like just getting to know them a little bit. Yeah. But I did say to them, I said straight up to them, I said, I've gotten in trouble for my wife before, who hears all my phone calls at home. She said, sometimes you will pretty much talk people out of buying something, which you shouldn't be doing. So that would be to my detriment. Now, most realtors don't do that. Most realtors probably err towards the other side.
Wouldn't you say anybody listening would want to use you more because of that?
No, because I think you can go too far that way.
Yeah, for sure you can go too far, but it's trust building to a certain degree as well.
Of course it is, but I think...
Like you even learned that in sales courses, is to like say no and like push back to your customer and things like that.
Yeah, I'm never doing it intentionally, I guess. I'm more just like, hey, I just think, hey, you're spending a lot of money. You want to be pretty prudent, and nobody should be getting forced into spending $600,000 or $700,000 or $800,000. Like, obviously, some people do need a push, but those people won't be susceptible to a push anyways. Like people that are foolish, like people that can't make a decision won't make a decision just because a realtor starts pushing them. And then I guess my thought process in that is, if you push people, you can't be a prophet, I guess. So when back to my comment about me being a bit too negative on the buying side, maybe. And I do a fair amount of buying still with people. I always like, obviously selling is easier to some extent where you list a place, but you don't want to be in a spot where you have to look back at somebody because you might get to list it again down the road. And of course you can't dictate where the market's going, and we're in a really soft market right now. It theoretically could get way worse.
Do the best you can.
You do the best you can in the moment that you're in. So, Caleb Westring, who's a realtor in Chilliwack, he's a great realtor, and he gave me a good advice early on. He said, don't try to be a prophet. Like, just don't try to predict where the market's going. Like, just if someone's in the market to buy and they want to buy now, you help them get the best deal you can in the moment. And that's all you can do as a realtor.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. And so for me, it's been an area of...
It's good with coaching like that actually as well. It's just like, you don't decide what the person believes.
You're not advising. You're not convincing them stuff.
No, you're just stay in your lane.
Okay. I think that we live in a culture where real estate has become, it's used way too much as an investment almost, rather than like you're buying a home. But there's still a lot of people, in that couple that I met the other day for the first time, like they just want to own their own home, and they live in a beautiful spot now, and theoretically they could live there for a while. But I think people really, and I think it's healthy. I think when you get into a spot as a society where nobody wants to own, or people have given up on that hope, which we're actually having a bit now, it's just not good. It's not good for our economy. I don't feel it's good for society. So I think it's healthy for people to want to buy, and it's not for everybody either, right? Some people are very content renting, and you're
we were talking about our buddy we went on a stag with last week, and whose son just bought a place. And, and he's early 20s and bought a place, just himself. I think it's flipping awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, but he's been, he's not even a dink. He's just a single guy, dink, double income, no kids.
Okay.
Or you must have heard that phrase.
Yeah, I had heard that.
Okay. But yeah, he's for him to
he's
like
just
save
working
up and
hard and being prudent.
It's awesome.
His dad doesn't charge him enough rent. It's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, should have kicked him out way earlier.
Should have kicked him out a long time ago. Should have had to buy a mobile home first, but I digress.
I'm still so bothered by you didn't fall for my vodka.
I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah, I had fun with that though.
Oh, you pretended you were drinking vodka, but it was just water in the bottle?
Yeah. So for the listeners, we had a stag last week for the, what do you call them? Farm
One
animal?
of the small farm animals, yeah.
And so I bought a big bottle of vodka but I just filled it with full water. And so half hour in, I got myself a glass of ice, and I just filled it to the top and started drinking, and got some side eyes. And
these guys are getting rage free.
Yeah, I could not believe how well I was holding my alcohol. checking to see if I was.
Gonna all of a sudden pass out.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of drinking really.
No, it wasn't.
There was obviously a bit, but it wasn't. I haven't been on very many stags, so I don't know but I hear that they can be quite crazy.
You remember your stag?
Yeah, it was really crazy.
It's
not crazy. You got show notes or not?
I do, yeah.
You're just enjoying how the guy who didn't have anything to say has talked a lot? I'll stop. I'm good.
No, I mean, go ahead. Do you got anything else?
I could talk about more stuff, but I'm good for now.
Like what? You want to talk about women's makeup?
No, we're going to get a lot of blowback. Well, I guess by the time this gets released, we'll know how much blowback we've gotten, but I'm bracing for impact tomorrow.
I think that's awesome. Okay, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and Lee Strobel, who wrote The Case for Christ, asked Jim Daly from Focus on the Family this question. If you're with God and God has to answer one question, what question would you ask him? I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder what Gary would say to that.
Oh, I'd have to think about it first for a while before I could answer that. Can't do it on the spot. What question would you ask? What
question I would ask? Probably, I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was like something about my future. Like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Okay.
I think about that quite a bit. Like, is this really where I'm supposed to be, or should I be doing something else? I think about that a lot. Yeah, that's what the biggest thing I would ask is that. Yeah, am I doing the right thing? What am I not seeing that I should be seeing?
Do you not have things that you see at the moment that you should see clearly? Like, can you not step out 30,000 feet and look down and be like, oh, yeah, I can see where I'm wrong.
Yeah, of course, but those are the things I already see.
Okay. But you're thinking there's the unknowns.
Yeah, there's got to be things I don't see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Or maybe something more about his attributes, like how loving he is. Like, show me, like, explain to me more of like, how loving you are, or how great your grace is, or else like that. Because I think once you understand that more, it's easier to act accordingly. You increase your faith. So, because I don't think we've grasped that at all.
No, I don't think we do either. No, I think of all the even yourself and others that have lost kids and stuff, and I think, well, even in that, like, we might not understand it now, but we know that. I think theoretically, anyways, people that are Christians realize that everything happens for a reason. But yeah, people go through a lot of hard things.
A lot of suffering.
I think of I've just found out a lot of things about people even in the last weeks. And we just had our Freedom Session grad, and you just think of the amount of suffering and challenging things that people have had in their lives that theoretically, like, practically make no sense from our human perspective, right? Just the amount of hurt that people have and crosses that people have to bear. And
it weighs on me. Really, like, sometimes people share things with me, and I know more than ever, there's nothing I can do, and I shouldn't give advice, and I just need to listen. But it still really weighs me down, or afterwards. So when I'm just thinking about them, just the suffering that they're in, and I found myself a month ago, just left this place driving home, and I was just start bawling. I just like the heaviness of what the suffering people are in, knowing you can't do really anything about it, and I mean, I think the flip side is when you try to do something about it, and you really shouldn't.
That's very problematic.
That can be really problematic. Yeah. I've definitely experienced that and done it myself as well. But
that's something I probably have to really learn yet. Is just not to be solution oriented and just to realize that I can't solve all the problems, and that there's a lot of things. And I guess I already realized that. I know that only God can fix things, but I just think, man, there's so many issues and so many people have so many problems, and the people hurt so much. And it definitely bothers me. It bothers my wife that I'm empathetic to all those people and not to her. It's really bad. Does that make sense?
Well, I've got that comment myself before too. So.
Okay. Where you're caring so much for others and not caring to those close to you. Yeah. So I'm trying to do a better job of that. Listen to her heart, and just even people like my kids and stuff. Like, when you ask the question, like, I guess I feel like there's so many things already that I know and I'm not changing. It's like, I don't need to know more. I just need to deal with the stuff that I actually know, right? Like, I need to be way more intentional at home. I need to cut things out of my calendar.
Yeah, because sometimes it could be other people's stuff can be a deflection of dealing with your own crap. Mm-hmm. I see that a lot.
The other day you posted something, I think, on your social media, and I thought I took a screenshot of it and I couldn't find it. for this. I was going to post it, but it was basically that, and I can't remember
Quote?
who said it. It was a quote, and it said, over half of our troubles today could be avoided by saying yes less often and no more quickly. Yes quicker by saying yes less often and no quicker.
Let's see if I can find it here.
Yeah. Anyways, for me, a big part of, like, the other day I agreed to something to be on some committee, and the minute I agreed, I knew I made a mistake. And then the minute I had my first meeting, I knew I'd made a mistake, and I'm just like, oh, why am I doing this? Right? It's just crazy.
Can't find that.
It might not have been on yours, so.
But I found this one here.
Another good one that you want to share.
What is the bravest thing you've ever said? Asked the boy. Help, said the horse. Asking for help isn't giving up, said the horse. It's refusing to give up. That was a good one. Yeah, I like the quotes. It's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom out there.
Okay, got another mailbag question. So I added a bunch of things yesterday, like you said, because I just texted like 5-6 people last night and said, hey, you got any topics for tomorrow? I'm recording. Why do you think most men, you with me?
Yeah, I'm listening, man.
Okay, I'm never sure, right? So, better than it used to be. If you look at their first 20 episodes, I'd be twitching when you were on your phone. So now I'm just like, whatever, frick, be on your phone.
Okay, Marie.
Nice. Why do you think most men just don't engage that much with Christian music played in church? I find most worship songs speak about all the things I should feel and all the things I proclaim I will do for God versus worship songs that proclaim God's attributes. Men like songs that proclaim God's power and kingship and not about our feelings. There's a lot of not questions there, but opinions. But I've heard this before, and I've experienced it myself. That I was often not engaged in the music, but it was
Can
not.
you put that into Chat GPT for me and say that in layman's terms, and so I can. Sorry, Can you ask the question once more time? Basic. You don't need to copy it. Just what was the question?
I'm gonna do it here. It takes 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'll say this for Gary
for
Baars
dumb
level.
Dumb farmer. Yeah.
Gary Far.
Explain this to a dumb farmer. What's this person saying?
Do you like singing in church?
I'm a little bit self-conscious. I mean, we sit right at the very front row, right? So I'm a little self-conscious, but I'm still thankful we're in the front row because I'm not distracted. So I really like that. Also, I feel like I do a lot of physical wrestling in church with my children.
Yeah.
Because I'm like policing and stuff. So it's definitely not the place where I would, like, ironically, where I would feel I can worship the most. Like, I really appreciate preaching, and I feel like while the preaching's happening, I can really pay attention for the most part. I'm sitting there with just 2 of my kids at that point. The little ones go to Sunday school in our church during the service. And
I think often I come in and I don't actually feel like singing at all, or I'm in a posture to listen to a sermon. But if I just do sing, and think about the words that I'm singing, that it actually that just in itself moves me more into that.
The thing is, we're all created differently, and we like there again, this is never acknowledged or talked about, but like we like different types of music. Like we're there again, maybe it's just a personal taste thing, but when you go to church, you need to I would agree that we would all just sing whatever's there. So like, while some people are pumped because it's really their style. I mean, if you went all around the world and listened to how things are sang and the music, it would really change from church to church, right? Well, obviously not everybody sitting in that service is pumped about the particular type of music that they're singing along with, right? So,
okay, this is what ChatGPT says. If you wanted a bit more blunt, more your style, why don't most men connect with worship music? Is it because the songs focus too much on feelings and not enough on who God actually is, his power and authority? I mean, a lot of guys don't even know their feelings outside of church either. So how are you supposed to expect your feelings inside of church?
Yeah.
And a lot of people just aren't excited about God.
No, they're not. I would say, or the biggest piece I would say is that a lot of people that are sitting in church are either not Christians. So then of course there wouldn't have any feelings towards the Lord. And then the other thing would be that they're a lot of guys in church, even if they are Christians, are really struggling with private sin, in my opinion. And so that just completely neuters you from being effective in any way, whether it be worshiping or leading or praying. Like, I often think like guys in our culture, in all churches, not just in ours, I think in a lot of churches are scared of leading. They're scared of praying publicly. And it's because I think the devil just keeps them feeling fearful and fraudulent because they're just not being honest. Right. Yeah. So it's fascinating. I mean, you've gotten a lot of heat in your life, and I mean, I feel a little bit of it sometimes for saying too much or oversharing or saying personal awkward stuff and sharing my sin. But definitely we need more of that from Christian men than being fake and phony. So, yes. I mean, there again, if you're going to land in one area and pretending you have it all together, because nobody does. And that's something that I'm still just realizing it as I go on, how many people are struggling under the surface of actually looking like they have it together pretty well. It's very interesting. Yeah.
The more, I mean, I remember you saying it a couple months ago. I was at your place, and we were talking about how the fact when anybody you get to know, as soon as you get to know them somewhat well, you realize they're not that great. Everyone's human.
Everyone's human. So human means that you are sinful.
Yes.
And sinful causes a lot of problems.
Yeah. But I do think there's something to be said for I think there's a big swath of modern worship music that is too focused on the person and not on God. But on the flip side, the Psalms are filled with commands to our feelings. And so I pulled a little piece from a sermon from John Piper. It's one of my favorite sermons he's ever preached, talking about God cares about your emotions, I think it is. And that's not the exact title. I'll put it on the screen. But this is what he says. The Psalm book of the Bible is punctuated with so many commands directed at our emotions. We read, "Love the Lord, all you his saints," Psalm 31:23. "Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him," Psalm 33, verse 8. "Let all the upright in the heart exult," Psalm 64, verse 10. "Delight yourself in the Lord," Psalm 37, verse 4. "Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous," Psalm 97, verse 12. "Be glad in the Lord," Psalm 32:11. "Hope in God," Psalm 42:5. "Give thanks to the Lord," Psalm 32, verse 2. "Love, stand in awe, exalt, delight, rejoice, be glad, hope, give thanks." None of this is a testimony. There are plenty of testimonies about the emotions in the Psalms. "I love the Lord," Psalm 116. "There's nothing on earth I desire beside you," Psalm 73. "How sweet are your words to my taste," Psalm 119. None of those are a promise, but there are plenty of promises about our emotions in the Psalms as well. "He satisfies the longing soul. The humble will be glad. The righteous will rejoice when they see vengeance." None of those is a prayer. But there are plenty of prayers for the emotions in the Psalms. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones that you have broken rejoice. Gladden the soul of your servant. Satisfy us in the morning with your steadfast love, that we may rejoice and be glad in all our days. So demands to delight, love, stand in awe, exalt, delight, rejoice, be glad, hope, give thanks. These are not testimonies or promises or prayers. These are commands directed toward the emotions specifically. The positive emotions of delight, and not just delight in general, but delight in God, all of them. Love God, stand in awe of God, exalt in God, delight in God, rejoice in God, be glad in God, hope in God, give thanks to God for God. And I think it can be really convicting to hear this or read this, because often we're just not excited about God and don't want to delight in him, or even have vocabulary
to describe
that. And I think that's the place we need to get to often, and confess that and say, God, like, give me a heart that does, or today, if you're a Christian already, shift my heart that it is excited about those things, because that's only the only thing that will satisfy us is when we do that that's when we can rejoice in suffering, when we know that he is better and that he's eternal. And so I think feelings are very much attached to our faith.
Yeah. Can I read Psalm 86?
Yes.
Okay. So I read this Psalm the other night at the Freedom Session, the first Freedom Session grad we had, and it just, I Psalm 85 I was going to read, and then I ended up reading this one. I just think it's pretty awesome. "Hear me, Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy." This is a Psalm of David. "Guard my life, for I am faithful to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. You are my God. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I call to you all day long. Bring joy to your servant, Lord, for I put my trust in you. You, Lord, are forgiving and good, abounding in love to all who call on you. Hear my prayer, Lord. Listen to my cry for mercy. When I am in distress, I call to you because you answer me. Among the gods, there is none like you, Lord. No deeds can compare with yours. All the nations you have made will come and worship before you, Lord. They will bring glory to your name, for you are great and do marvelous deeds. You alone are God. Teach me your ways, Lord, that I may rely on your faithfulness. Give me an undivided heart that I may fear your name. I will praise you, Lord, for my God. With all my heart, I will glorify your name forever. For great is your love toward me. You have delivered me from the depths, from the realm of the dead. Arrogant foes are attacking me, O God. Ruthless people are trying to kill me. They have no regard for you. But you, Lord, are compassionate and gracious, God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. Turn to me and have mercy on me. Anyways, I'll end there. But
Yep.
just a lot of
Being real.
yeah, and just the idea like, hey, God will save those who call on him, right? And I think that's verses like that in there that I feel like a lot of times are glossed over, right? It's like, no, if you trust in the Lord and you cry out to him, he'll save you. Like,
yeah.
And we're all in the realm of the dead, left to our own devices, right? So anyways.
Moving on.
Did we answer the question of the...
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
If not, send another one.
Yeah.
Ask for clarification. What do you think about, I'm going to read a quote from Spurgeon on the title of Reverend, or like Reverend, a pastor or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think of that title?
I guess the idea of, so I'm assuming it comes from the term revere.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, revered, yeah.
To revere someone. I think that pastors should be put in a position of respect and honor, so I can understand why the term exists. Unfortunately, I think a lot of reverends probably don't share their own struggles enough and therefore quickly become the Pope in our churches. And that's a dangerous spot to be as a person in leadership. Yeah. People don't do well being put on a pedestal ever. No. Ever. Like, no. I mean, even the little bit that I sometimes get put on one, it makes me really uncomfortable. I get really scared. Because when you're up top, there's nowhere to go but down. Yeah, and like, that too, yes. And I'm going there. Like, you know, I know my own depravity. So I just think, I guess I hold it in both hands. So you can read the quote. Okay. I'm just rambling.
So the quote is actually from, that is in Old English. So I asked AI to translate it into modern English. But I'll put both on the screen if someone wants to read the Old English one. I really don't like being called Reverend because I don't deserve that kind of honor. Honestly, reverend and sinner don't go together, and I know I'm a sinner, so I reject the title. It surprises me that such a flattering label was even created, and it's even more surprising that some good men get upset if they're not called by it. My dad actually, who's a reverend or pastor, preached his last sermon last week, which is cool to be at.
Nice.
But he, about, I think 20 years ago, he switched. He used to write all signature all of his stuff with Reverend Ruitenburg, and he switched it to pastor. After I remember talking to him about this, and this is I think one of the things that I don't know exactly what made him shift it, but he changed everything too. He's like revered. You know, Gary Baars, revered. If you're sounding like yourself, it's like you're revering yourself, and he's like, I can't do this. Like, so switch it to pastor.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say that's being overthought because it's just the title that ministers are given in certain denominations.
But when you do end up thinking about it and you're writing
you're processing it. Yeah. I think that my experience has been that when pastors struggle, which they often do, and they mostly struggle in silence, because like, who do they turn to be like, hey, I'm struggling, other than I guess their elders. Yeah. If when they do, or whatever, leaders in their church, not just pastors in churches where there's elders, pastors everywhere, and all kinds of churches really struggle. It has like a real ripple effect, and it caused a lot of hurt. And so I'm just a firm believer in people that are leaders and when I say fit to be a leader, I mean just honest, honest and authentic, and obviously not living in public sin or sin that's, you know, would detract from their ministry, where it would, you know, be obvious that they shouldn't be in ministry. But I do think a lot of guys, at least my experience has been, that they get themselves into the spot where they're the commander in chief and they're kind of controlling things, and it's just, puts them in a tough spot, right? And I think by default, people that are pastors are strong people, and they are leaders as a general rule. Not always. Some are probably horrible leaders, but a lot of them are very strong people. And so their proclivity would be to be domineering, controlling, and maybe isolating and not accountable, right? So I think healthy church leadership would look like, strong elders really holding a pastor to account, at the same time really encouraging him. And is that done well? It's probably done in varying degrees in different churches, right? But
on the domineering thing, it reminds me of, I don't know where it's from, but it's something about either church leadership or just Christians, that healthy ones at least walk with a limp, like they've been ground down, right, and made humble, and so that domineering thing gets ripped away from you, and you actually humble. Now, again, with time, if you get in a position for a long time and you're on a pedestal, we're all susceptible.
You still have to be, like, if you're a leader in any church or anywhere really, you still got to be pretty tough. And you definitely there's definitely time. I think especially when you're in ministry, like there's a lot of wolves among the flock. There's a lot of people that are need a hard word too. So it's that balancing act of being able to speak truth confidently while still being humble enough, acknowledging your own sin, right? And who does that well? I mean, that's just not an easy line to walk, right? So,
or would you say tough, or would you say more just like really believes in the gospel? Because
sometimes really tough.
Yeah, but I think there's two types of tough, right? There's a tough of just like being hard and callous and just like domineering, and there's the tough of, I believe the gospel so much that I can be honest with someone and not worry too much about how they perceive it. And I can take criticism and not take it too harshly myself, because I know that I'm forgiven and redeemed, right? I think that's a different kind of tough that might be perceived as, harsh at times, stuff like that. But it comes from a very different place. One comes from insecurity, and it's a big high wall. And the other one actually comes from, love for Christ. So.
Fair enough.
What else you got?
I mean, you probably don't want to talk about foreclosures and real estate.
Not really, no.
Okay.
If people want to plug the recruiting, though, if there's any employers out there looking for good employees, I think
this is a great place to find them.
That's right. Yeah. Just like last 100%. Year when someone reached out for the first time and said, "Hey, can I advertise on your podcast for some roles I'm looking to fill?"
That
you're getting access to 750 people every week that are somewhat like us. So we're probably going to show
better
up
people than us, but
probably going to show up to work hard.
If they're like me, they won't show up for work on time. So you do not want them to be employees like me. No.
I remember one time I was at work, Jake's Construction, and I showed up like 7:10 one day, and the next day my boss was at my desk, and he said very calmly, "That's not happening again, is it?" And I'm like, "No, sir."
Okay, the expectation is to be there on time.
Yeah, and I never was again. But I was late one time.
You're cheating your boss if you're late.
Well, I would have really done my time card, but
it wasn't like you're still in the time.
No. It was just that, like, hey, like,
you're
but I had
in
a position that I needed to be there as well.
To be the leader. Yeah. I think it's interesting too, where people, because I interact with, and you do too, with people that are working for people that are starting out in their career, and people that struggle perpetually just over and over through life and feel like they're being hard done by, or people are succeeding and they're not. Luckily, a lot of people compare. It's human nature, right? And I spend a lot, especially when you do freedom sessions with people, they share very vulnerable with you, and people don't want to admit that they're a compare, because it's just embarrassing. Like, you'd like to think that you can be joyful when other people are doing well.
Yeah.
But a lot of us can't.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed over and over is that those people they spend a lot of time looking elsewhere and comparing. And there's basic little things in your life where it's just like you said, like if you're just a little bit early, and if you're a keener, like even the people that I see around me that are just grinding a little bit harder and just eager to please and just working hard, right?
Yeah.
It's like
it makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference. People are watching, and if you're a go-getter, like very few people are grinding it out, working hard and pleasant and struggling. Like, right? Like that combination it does happen, and obviously things happen outside of people's control, but you can have a lot of impact over your own trajectory in your career, or where you're working, or even in your own business if you're just pushing hard. And people want to support people that are pleasant and nice to be around and given, right?
And the other way around as well, like working for a boss that's just like a hard ass and doesn't give a shit about you, versus a boss that actually is caring and has good values. That makes a big difference as well. So I mean, if you're in either one of those spots, an employer or an employee, and you're looking for a good fit, either for a place to work or for a position you're trying to fill, reach out to me and I'll see what I can do. Yeah.
I think that's a wrap, Kyle.
Okay.
It's a moderately long podcast for two people who did not
Yeah,
want
we used to cap it at half hour. We should go into overtime, though. I want to bring overtime back.
Okay. For your Patreon people?
Yeah.
How long are we at now?
40 minutes.
Yeah, that's good enough, man. Oh,
I was going to say one thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Send in your questions. Oh, live event. That's what I was going to say. Someone messaged me yesterday about the live event. They're like, when's the live event coming?
When's it happening? I'm
like, I don't know. Do you really want to hear just me and Gary bullshit? Like no one's going to be entertained by that.
We could bring good guests in. We could bring interesting people.
Yeah, they were happy with that. They just liked the last event and because I was putting...
It's a social time too, right?
That's why.
People love social events.
So maybe I still will put it on. Maybe episode 100 because we're at episode 94 today. So that's in 6 weeks. That's pretty close. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Anyways, thanks for listening.
Have a great week.
Peace. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.